Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Friends Podcast, man. Thank you so much for coming
Yep.
back and joining us. And if it's your first time, we definitely appreciate you for coming through and listening
Love
to what we
y'all.
have to say today, man. So let's go ahead and get into it how we usually do. My name is Matt, and I'm here with my co-host.
My name is Rod. This is the Friends Podcast. Make sure you tap in. We're streaming everywhere. That means Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, YouTube. So check us out.
Yeah, man, everywhere you can even imagine. So I guess let's start, like I said, how we always do. How was your last week?
Last week was pretty busy. I worked during the nights. Was up until about 3, 4 a.m. every day this week. It was hell. So still like trying to pick up my steam this week. What about you?
Man, not too bad. Just been working and editing and doing a bunch of stuff for the podcast. Last night I went out. Just went out, had a little fun last night, so got a little tequila in me. Nothing too crazy though.
What
Nothing too
kind of
crazy.
tequila?
I don't know, what's some shit that somebody brought over last week. It was Milagro. You ever heard of that?
Nah, never heard of Milagro.
Yeah, it was wretched. That shit was fucking gross. But it
Was it
got the
brown
job
or,
done.
or white?
Nah, it was the white one. It was the white boy. So
Oh, so that's the Blanco.
the Blanco, yeah, not the
Yeah.
Negro.
I've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
wanting to actually try this new tequila by Kevin Hart. Like
Oh,
he
for
just
real?
came out one. It seems like he's kind of doing a similar thing to The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
How The Rock came out with Terramana and how it's been doing so well, ranking in a bunch of the tequila shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I could definitely see The Rock that being like $1 billion brand for sure. Kind of how like George Clooney, he had his own liquor and he became rich as fuck.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong in the spirits business. Like, people always gonna want to drink.
Oh, you can go wrong. Some people could definitely go wrong.
How? I mean, shit. If you got a good product, if you put a good product out there, you should be
Yeah,
good.
it seems like you got good product, you got fame and stuff behind your name. Yeah, you can go pretty far. I mean, we already know what Diddy ended up doing with his brand, but
Man, went
yeah,
crazy. E40. We talked about E40 wine on here before, and his spirits. Like
yeah,
ASAP Rocky. I want to try ASAP Rocky new shit called Mercer. I think.
yeah. His whiskey, I want
Yeah,
to
his
try that
whiskey.
shit.
It's like a Japanese Canadian whiskey or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
not
it seems like
no.
they got little small batches of it.
Yeah, yep. So yeah, definitely
Yeah,
got to go try that shit. Support black businesses and shit like that. But
yeah. Kevin Hart's tequila name is Grand Coramino,
Grand Coromino. Okay.
so I'm gonna try that out. Seems about $60 a bottle, so that's like mid range. That's not bad.
hmm Not too bad at all. So I guess let's go ahead and get into this first topic. So let's see, what should we talk about first? I guess we can get this out of the way because we don't. I feel like we probably not gonna have too much to say about this. But so it has been determined that the Golden State Warriors are now the 2022 NBA champions. Um, beat the Celtics in 6 at their own crib. Beat them 2 times at their own crib. Um, and Steph was the Finals MVP. I guess give your thoughts on what happened in the finals.
That's like the sound clap effect right there. That would go right after you say that.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, congratulations to the Golden State Warriors. They had a great season. I mean, it was an alright season. They definitely picked it back up in the playoffs. They
hmm
showed up. That's a team when you have a veteran team like that who's been there before against a team who hasn't been there before. It just goes to show you that experience definitely helps. This is a lot of
yeah,
their main top players like the Draymond Green from Michigan State, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson. I think Iggy's still on there on the team.
yeah. He's still on
So
there. Him, Andrew Wiggins.
yeah, but those players is going to be their fourth championship reign, which is
Oh yeah, yep.
a big feature. I don't know if this means Stephen Curry's going to start being put in that GOAT conversation as one of the best basketball players of all time.
I mean, you know how it is, like the rings, because I feel like rings hold weight, like a
They
lot.
definitely do.
I feel that,
top 10 probably at least now.
Who, Steph?
Yeah, I feel like you gotta kind of put him there. Top 10 players of all time, 4 rings.
Mm-hmm. He already the greatest shooter of all time, 2-time MVP.
I
So it's
don't
like,
know
shit,
what
you
it
might have
is.
to.
It's just like he definitely has like that one spirit, but maybe it's just his personality. That's just he's not a cocky person.
It don't
And saying,
seem
"Oh,
like it, nah.
I'm the best." Like, and that's kind of what you get from Kobe's, the LeBrons, the Michael Jordans. They all was like cocky, where they're saying they're the best in the world of all time, like right now. And I never really hear Stephen Curry really say that.
Yeah,
And maybe that's why it's hard for people to get in their head that he's one of the top basketball players of all time because he doesn't necessarily say it himself.
yeah. I guess maybe you got to say it sometime for people to believe it. But I mean, if you look at it with your eyes, you can see. You know what I mean? That nigga shoot your lights out. He'll cross you the fuck up, like all that.
I was
And
having a conversation with somebody at work about this. It was
mm-hmm,
a older gentleman, Asian guy. He said he couldn't say who's the GOAT, but he said a person that should be really brought up is Tim Duncan
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
as one of the greatest of all time basketball players.
mm-hmm.
He said he really don't care too much about Kobe. He said Kobe wasn't all that, as people say.
All right.
He was like, yeah, Tim Duncan was a lot better player. And I mean, Tim Duncan had won a bunch of championships.
Yeah, I think he got 5 or 6.
Yeah, so in that conversation,
That Spurs dynasty in the 2000s, boy, you ain't run across them.
yeah, it really wasn't losing back in the day. Like Tim Duncan won a championship 99, 2003, 2005, 2007, 2014.
Yep.
Yeah, he got 5 rings.
He has rings in 3 different decades.
And that's the thing. He wasn't he's kind of like a Stephen Curry where he's not cocky and say, "Oh, I'm the best" or
Mm-mm.
anything like that. Maybe that's the same kind of similar reason. Like why people don't really put him in that conversation when they say like Michael Jordan and Kobe. But Tim Duncan was balling on Kobe and them. Like the Spurs, that team.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Tim Duncan ain't gonna say nothing. He just gonna hoop. He one of them niggas that just gonna hoop. Like he gonna show you. He don't got to tell you a lot. He ain't got to trash talk. He don't got to do none of that. He just know he good. He can just hoop. So
He
yeah,
might have
shout
been
out
the
to Tim
last
Duncan.
good big man for real.
Um,
Because the game is mostly shooters these days.
it is. Yeah, he definitely was the last best one. I can't think of anybody else that was like pretty good. Like Andre Drummond was. He was alright.
Yeah, because
I
he was
fucked with
there after
Serge.
Shaq.
Yeah, yep. I fuck with Serge Ibaka, Steven Adams. Like it's a few, but like none of them that are at the level of what Tim Duncan was doing at all.
And let's Giannis kind of remind me of like Tim Duncan a little bit.
In a way, they don't do the same thing, but in a way,
Just to being a dominant big man down low.
yeah, for sure.
And like being able to shoot.
Hmm.
Like they'll have a good little mid range. And then they both won a championship, so
Yeah, but the thing about Giannis is he can move with the ball. Tim Duncan can't really.
he moved with the
not that.
ball.
Who, Tim Duncan?
Yeah, he was moving.
No, but he can't. I feel like he wasn't a facilitator like that. Like Giannis could bring it up the court, and then he could go straight to the basket. Like Tim Duncan can't do that.
Yeah, but basketball's different now.
It is, yeah.
The
Because like
whole
it's kind of
game.
like a KD. It's like a KD. Like KD is tall as hell, but he can still dribble. He can shoot. He'll take your ass to the rack. Like all that shit. Like it's a hybrid. Like it's a big man, but he move sort of like a guard or a
Yeah, that's the
forward.
thing. Like it seemed like there's really no true centers anymore. Like everyone's like a
Mm-mm.
power forward.
And if they are, they're not really making no noise because like there's no need for that right now. Like Kristaps was, I think he was like a true center. Steven Adams a true center.
Yeah,
Like it's a
Stephen
few.
Curry, he's definitely one of the players who changed the game
Hmm.
and made people start shooting a lot more threes because You can make all the twos you want, but if they just shooting all these threes,
It's
you
a
gotta
numbers
you gotta
game.
pu- you gotta come up and guard. You can't stay back like how they used to.
Yeah, you definitely got to get him. You can't don't leave him open. Like that's the scouting report. Don't leave him open.
Yeah, you need a couple people.
Yeah. So, I guess to wrap it up, I guess congratulations to them. I'm not no Warriors hater. Like I really don't care. Like my team was not even in the playoffs, so I ain't had no dog in this fight. But it's cool to see it though. It's cool to see the dynasty, uphold its its ruling and stuff like that. So that's dope.
I know. I definitely said they were gonna lose.
I
And
thought
I
they was
said
too.
Boston in 6, but
Yeah,
I just didn't expect Boston to lose 3 games in a row like that.
they ain't
I
won
wouldn't
it.
expect that.
They ain't won it. You could just tell like they just
I
lost.
think that's just inexperience.
I
Like
mean,
if they had like some veteran guys on their team, like who's been there before, keeping that
yeah.
fire going.
I mean, has Horford been in the finals before? I feel like Horford
Nah,
has been
this
in the
was his
finals.
first one.
This is Horford first finals. Damn,
Yeah, he been in the league for like I think 17 years. First
just
final
made it.
chance. So
Got
I
bounced up
mean,
out of there.
yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah, pretty
Um,
much.
unless they somehow figure out how to come back and do it again. Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it depends on what the East look like next year.
Oh, it's gonna be
Shit.
tough.
I mean, shit it wasn't tough for him this year. So it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, teams wasn't all that healthy this year.
Yeah,
I'm
no, that's true.
interested to see how. And then it was like the COVID restrictions in the beginning of the year,
hmm
so a bunch of people kind of missed a bunch of games. Um, I know, especially for the Brooklyn Nets.
That's what I'm about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. And once Kyrie could play a full season, if he want to fucking play, if he actually go to
I
the
mean, he was
games,
there when they lost in the playoffs.
he was there.
Yeah, he was there losing.
Right, he was there, but then he ain't get no chance to play no full season. Like they wasn't in sync. I feel like if you play 82 with your people, then you gonna have some type of like
Yeah,
synergy.
yeah, he was at practice, but I mean, at the end of the day, that was his choice. They wanted him to be there, like, but
hmm
he didn't want to do it.
That's why they paid him.
Yeah, he took weeks off for mental wellness, and
All right, Ben
yeah,
Simmons.
so
Wait, don't they got Ben Simmons now too?
yeah, they got Ben Simmons now, so we'll see how that works. He didn't play
Two,
a game in like 2 seasons.
man. He can hoop though. That's the thing. He can hoop, but we just like I said, they just gotta have that synergy. Like that, I feel like that's a very important. Like you saying with the Warriors, they've been there before. They have that synergy. Like that's very important.
I don't know
So for
about Ben Simmons. So the reason why, like his last team, he had an issue with the crowd because he was doing trash. He wasn't playing all that well, but he couldn't get over that hump, and that's what champions do. That's what winners do. Like, unless you have your teammates and stuff like on your side and try to help you out. But in his case, I think it's more or less he's paid, and I don't think he cares that much about basketball. I think he already got it in his head where it's just like fuck it, it is what it is.
hmm
And once you get that in your head, it's hard to get that out of your head and be like, oh, this is like the game of love and
hmm
the desire to even become a champion like Kevin Durant or a Kyrie Irving kind of level of basketball. The expectation is gonna still be high.
Yeah, it do kind of seem like he don't give a fuck, huh?
I mean, that's obvious.
But I mean, maybe this is exactly what he needed to change teams and go do some other shit and what I'm saying, new levels and shit
Be
like
a
that.
role
So
player.
yeah, that's definitely where you're gonna have to be. So I mean, in the East, I mean, it's really Nets, and that's pretty much it. Like I don't have
You got
faith in
the
the
Heat.
Sixers. Oh yeah, the Heat. My bad. Yeah, I always forget they in the East because it's Miami. But yeah, the Heat. Other than that, it's pretty much a dub all around. But yeah,
All right. So going over to the next topic then. Academics. Academics. One of the his past polls had popped up about his comments on dating minors. Pretty much, I'm gonna cut right to the chase here.
Okay.
He said, I don't care if she's 17. I don't care if she's 17 and a half. I don't care if she just turned 17. She gonna get this dick.
That's crazy.
And let me put a bit more context. This is also what he said.
Okay.
But listen, he said, I adopted this rule, which I think is fine. I said, as long as the chick got a college ID, she's getting fucked. So you could be 17 in college. I was 17 when I had just started college. Yeah, I was 17. But after the first month, I went ahead and in September turned 18. So I don't know. You think he's wrong? Like, as long as she's in college, if she's 17, is that cool or
No? It's not cool. And I'm not just saying that just on some politically correct shit. Like, that's just not how I rock, to be honest.
If he was in college though,
Mm-hmm.
with her, and she was 17,
and I was 18.
what
17
age?
to
What
18.
age? What age does it stop? Like, what are
That's
you,
what I'm saying.
19, 20? That's what I'm just saying. In college, like, you was in college and she's in the same college. Could you not fuck with her because she's 17?
I don't know. I feel like for me, if I'm over 18, no, I do know. I do. For me, I feel like if I'm over 18, then they got to be over 18. That's how I feel. Like, I'm not even thinking.
If you're in college, you're not thinking about that though, right? Or am I wrong? I guess because if I was 17 and I had got to college and I met a young lady around my age, a couple years older, like that was 19, 20.
Yeah.
And she was just like, "Oh, I can't fuck with you because you're 17."
Yeah. Which that happens. That would happen. Try to be like, "Oh, that you young, you too young." Like that, I feel like that would happen. But end of the day,
I guess, yeah. What do you think?
That shit was flagrant. I feel like what he said was flagrant. Like this is one of the things though. Like these motherfuckers be streaming and doing hours and hours and hours of streaming, and they just be saying shit.
See, that's the thing. They got this shit from like, I think this was years ago.
Right.
So keep that in mind. He is young. So
he young, and he was. I
when
feel
he
like
said that,
he was in college.
He was a college student.
Yeah, he was in college when he said that, but he was over. I think don't quote me. Actually, I'm not even gonna say it because I might be wrong. I don't want to shit on Akademiks, but I think he was over 21 when he said that. I think, but if not, forgive me.
I mean, he's 31 right now, so he probably was over 20 at the time.
Yeah, so like in that context,
he probably was mid 20s, probably when he might have said that.
Yeah, that's
given to his rise to fame.
Yeah, I can't, like, I don't know. I never really, like, in life, I don't know if I ever really liked girls that was like younger than me. Like maybe the same age, but like younger, like probably more than 2 years younger.
I know you definitely remember the girls that were in high school who used to date the older dudes that would just be around.
Yeah.
You never thought that was weird?
No, I did, for sure. Like, that's weird.
Like, you competing with like niggas who's out, like who already graduated from the school, but they just in the area still talking to the girls and hitting on them.
It don't make sense though. Like, that was always weird. Like, it's the R. Kelly system. Like, for real, that's what R. Kelly was doing. So it's like anything in that whole realm, it's just like I don't play around with that shit. Like,
I don't want to make the comparison of high school, but I don't want to say the wrong thing either. But because like, if it's in college, since I was a young college student, like again, let me say that again, and I was 17 when I went to college, and I felt like I had enough sense by the time I went to college to make a choice. Like, if it's both consensual in that way and we're both in college, I mean, I guess if the law states not until you're 18, that's what it is. But I think if you're both in college like 18, 19, and you date a 17-year-old, but that's in college as well. It's not a big deal if y'all both consensual in a sense. But like for act to say, if you were like mid-20s, saying the fact that you even want to point that out, like
Why would you say
that's
that?
already, I don't get why you would even say that. That's already crazy.
Yeah.
I would never be like, oh yeah, 17 years, like that's already a pedophile kind of question. It's like, why would you why specifically 17?
Right.
Like it's like, did that happen to one of your altercations, like with a woman before? Like you saw that she was 17 but she was cute, but she had a college ID, you just like, yeah.
Right. See, and I wish this is what I was gonna say too. Like, I wish I
Like,
had the full context of the clip. I didn't see the clip. I just heard, like, I just seen articles on it.
exactly, myself.
Yeah. So like, I wish I had like the full context of like why he even said that shit, because it just seemed flagrant to me. I don't see the point
Like
in
once
saying
you
that.
get up, like there's always some people who try to
Mm-hmm.
find something.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, he said it. I mean, you got to stand on what you said. It's the same
Yeah.
thing with Charlemagne, and that every that story that always pops up. He always try to keep under wraps. Charlemagne, the guy on Breakfast Club,
Mm-hmm.
when that young girl was at the party,
Mm-hmm.
and you there with them. I mean, you got to take some responsibility in that case, right? Because
For
he was in
sure.
that situation,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He
and
tried to not
something did
never talk
happen
about
to her.
that.
So
Yeah. So, like you said, people just be trying to pull shit out the woodworks when you doing something. I don't know what Ack is doing right now. If he's on, you know, ascending to another level or something. But yeah, they pulled the clip out, and now people are mad, and rightfully so, I think.
yeah,
I just
people
think it was
always
just a nasty thing to say.
want to cancel someone. It's cancel society, cancel culture, which
Hmm.
ain't really real anyways. Cancel culture ain't real.
Yeah, I keep saying that. Who's ever been canceled?
No one's getting canceled. Only people that's really canceled is the people who went to jail.
Yeah, for real. I wish we had a different word for it, because like it's not canceling. I just feel like people just are taking it upon themselves to not fuck with that person anymore, like in any capacity, not support them. Like, people don't support Kanye like that no more. Some people will never listen to his music again. Some people won't ever listen to R. Kelly. You know what I mean?
Nah. I feel like the people who weren't really fans of Kanye like that anyways, they're the people who be like, oh, I ain't listen to that shit no more. Cause like you wasn't really a Kanye fan like that to begin with. That's why you
I
saying that. That's why it's so easy for you to be like, oh yeah, like I ain't gonna do this. It's the same thing with R. Kelly.
mm-hmm.
People say, oh, they want to cancel R. Kelly and stuff like that, but you still gonna listen to his music though. You're not really canceling, but it's harder to cancel R. Kelly because it's like you grew up with that type of music. Like he was
Mm-hmm.
like the heart of R&B at the time and that type of soul music. So, but Kanye, they could be like, oh, like I ain't really fucked with his music since the first couple albums.
Yeah.
But I'm just done listening to his music.
Right.
So it might
Because
be
that
easier
was
for someone
real.
to cancel.
Yeah, because that was real. A lot of people wasn't fucking with Kanye after Yeezus and around that time. But I
Yeah.
was I was a huge Kanye fan. And I have not legally streamed a Kanye song in years. Like, years, for real. Like, if I'm listening to Kanye, I'm illegally downloading it somewhere. And even then, I haven't done that in a while. But
I mean, what was the last Kanye album you heard? I mean, I know he went gospel, so
I heard Donda, but I heard the leak before Donda came out. But I illegally downloaded it, obviously. Before that, I never heard Jesus is King.
what about these brands though that go and do all this shit
Mm,
with the blackface and
that's a
thing
good
about
point.
say things negatively about black people? We're so quick to dismiss black people who
Mm,
do stuff like this, but these brands that been shitting on us for a while, we'll all be upset and be like, oh, we're gonna cancel this brand, and then they'll be out wearing that same shit in a couple months.
nigga was right back in H&M after that monkey shirt. Like, that shit was
Yep.
crazy.
So it's just like, aren't you gonna not keep the same energy? Like, why is always
See,
like gonna be so upset about an artist, but when the brands do it, it's okay because they're like a big $1 billion entity.
right. That's a great point. That's a great point. You know, people got to practice what they preach, and people got to stop picking and choosing shit. I just wish that, like you said, people just did that. Like, if it's don't criticize your own black brother or sister, and then support this brand that did some shit. Support this other person that's not black that might have did some problematic shit that, you know what I mean. You still support them. So it's like,
Yeah, y'all
stop
wearing
picking and
Gucci and
choosing.
all that.
Definitely still wearing Gucci for sure. Still
H&M.
wearing H. Yep.
All these top brands, they fucked up at one point.
For sure. So, all right, let's move away from that. I
Y'all be
think we
saying
said it.
designer, 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 exotic,
Right.
exotic, exotic, and they all be saying nigga.
For sure. Mullions, calling us Mullions and shit. But
Blackie.
all right, let's move on to the next thing. So I guess let's talk a little bit about Jerrod Carmichael. So Jerrod Carmichael is a comedian, one of the new. I wouldn't even say up and coming because he has. I feel like he has an HBO special. A couple of
Comedian,
them.
writer,
hmm
director,
hmm
producer,
Actor, because he had his own
multiple
TV
hats
show.
now. So
Yeah, he's wearing a lot of hats. So he's really dope in the comedy space, and so he has something interesting to say about Dave Chappelle, which, just to start it off, like when we talked about this, in the pre-show, um, I was like, wow, like it was interesting to me that Jerrod Carmichael chose to go after like a heavy hitter like Dave Chappelle, because that could be something that could get you blackballed and get you ostracized for even speaking up on people's name like that. So that was interesting to me. Like, did that strike you as like crazy?
I mean, it was a GQ magazine profile, so he was asked about Dave Chappelle and how you feel about his stance against the LGBTQ community. Like a lot of comedians and stuff are being asked about that, what went on there,
hmm
because a lot of comedians feel like they're under attack on stage. There are people just rushing out on stage and want to fight them, or
Right.
worse.
Yeah. Slap him, kill him. Yeah. So I don't know. I do agree. They did ask him, but he chose to he chose to go at that nigga neck a little bit though. To me, I feel like he went at Dave Chappelle neck, which I don't think he's wrong, but I think that it was just interesting that he chose to like keep it 1,000 and not be political.
It might be
And
because his latest special on HBO, Brothaniel, where he finally identified himself as gay. So he's a
mhm.
part of that community now.
Yeah. So that might have been why he went so hard. Yeah, that's true. Um, so yeah, so I
Maybe.
guess yeah, I could see that. Like he's sticking up for, I guess, what's right. You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess let me try to read some of these quotes just to kind of talk about, go through what he said, and let's kind of talk
Yeah, a
about
bit
like
more
what.
context. So the
Yeah.
audience really understands.
So if you guys don't know, like Dave Chappelle been, having trans jokes in a lot of his recent specials, and it was backlash. But then, like, I think in his most recent, he chose to kind of getting his feelings a little bit, and kind of go more in on the trans community and stuff like that.
Yes, he
So
did.
people was mad, and I guess GQ asked him about it. So this is what Jerrod Carmichael said in his GQ article regarding Chappelle. So he said, "Look, I get it. Everybody's got to create a boogeyman to sell tickets, but it's not true," he says, referring to much hyped threat of cancel culture. Who's getting canceled for what they've said? What does that mean? That people are mad on Twitter? Everybody's fine. These grown men are fine. I think a lot of times people who offer nothing truthful or meaningful about themselves then complain about society at large and create this boogeyman. It's like, listen, that's the most urgent thing in your life, bro. God bless you. I'm tired of hearing it. Chappelle, do you know what comes up when you Google your name, bro? That's the legacy. Your legacy is a bunch of opinions on trans shit. It's an odd hill to die on. And it's like, hey, bro, who the fuck are you? Who do you fuck? What do you like to do? Childish jokes aside, who the fuck are you? It's just kind of played, but He's choosing to die on the hill. So all right, let him. Um, yeah. So that's what Jerrod Carmichael said. Like I said, I feel like he was really kind of he ain't really come at his neck like that, but he was being critical of Chappelle. And like I said, that I feel that might be something that could get him blackballed.
I think,
But go ahead.
well, I guess the one thing that I've always liked about Jerrod Carmichael, I mean, other than his like TV series, and it's definitely his comedy,
Hmm.
and his comedy style is very introspective. It's always about him or what's going on in his life, what's his day to day, his mind, and how he's thinking. So I feel like that's kind of the comedians that he looks up to,
Hmm.
and we all know Dave Chappelle's more of a comedian that he talks about society and what's going on, um, race versus different races, um, and then he kind of like pits it with a little bit of it's a little bit of childish jokes along with it. Like I do see his point there, um, but I mean it's just a different type of comedy style. Like every comedian has a bit something different. But it is a little weird that Dave Chappelle continuously to attacks the trans community, like special after special. Like at first it's like, oh okay, and then all the comments and everything on it. It's like you don't have to spend about it. It just felt like he spent like 20, 30 minutes just talking about it and
Yeah,
like going
yeah.
in on it on his latest special. It's just like, all right, okay, it's funny, bro. It's
Hmm.
like you do get like I do understand like it's like I'm tired of hearing it. The same kind of thing that Carmichael said. Like it just gets old. It's like okay, that it is just it definitely is where it's where here to die on.
It is, and for Dave Chappelle to be one of the most talented comedians that we've ever seen, for him to like spend his time addressing it and then keeping it like not making new material for us, like he especially because his stand up has evolved over time. So like now he's kind of on some like introspective like storytelling. Like not everything is a jokey joke type shit now, but it's just like for him to spend all that time on trans people is just like why are we doing this? Why does he feel like he needs to die on this hill? I just don't know. So I think Gerard made a great point there.
Yeah,
And
I feel like the who the fuck are you and who do you fuck, what do you like to do kind of thing there. That's just not his comedy style, and that could be taken as I don't even think Dave Chappelle would really consider this as a shot at all. I don't think he's like that type of individual. I think more or less a conversation really could just be had between these two, and it'll be all good.
for sure, yeah, I think they both have pretty.
I think they're both respectable,
Oh yeah.
and I feel like the conversation would be real dope.
Do you think they have like kind of pretty similar comedy styles?
No, as I was saying, that Jerrod Carmichael comedy style is very introspective about him, and Dave Chappelle he speaks on society at large.
Yeah, I mean the content, yeah, is not the same. But I feel like even just the way that they kind of like even watching Rothaniel, I'm not gonna say it was like an exact Dave Chappelle like type thing, but it was just very. It was intimate. It was just like he's telling stories, he's talking to people, and not everything is a joke. I feel like that's what Dave Chappelle's comedy has evolved into, and I felt like that's what Jerrod Carmichael did on Rothaniel.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they're some of the best comedians like of all time for me right now. Anyways, like I think Jerrod Carmichael's comedy specials are some of the best specials ever
Yeah,
in
yeah,
terms of
for sure.
comedy. I like his intimate settings, like on all his specials usually.
Hmm.
How he kind of goes back and forth with the crowds and talking to them and having their input and kind of
Yeah.
continuously involved in the joke. I like that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle, he kind of to me kind of had like a similar style. Like people in the crowd do make comments and shit like that. Depending on what they say, like he'll go along with what they say,
Hmm.
or like if they're just talking shit, he'll just Be like, shut up, bitch.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
then smoke a cig.
Yeah.
But
I see the similarities, but yeah, it's not like a one-on-one exact thing, like exact match. But so I guess, to wrap it up, I guess shout out to Jerrod Carmichael for speaking up and
I
I
mean,
guess
even
standing
like
up for.
the comedian that everyone really like, they be, oh, this guy's the GOAT, and that's Richard Pryor.
Yeah, for sure.
And people say Richard Pryor was he was like a storyteller. He was a person who was very introspective on his life.
He
So his
was.
comedy style, I think that could be more like a Jerrod Carmichael in a sense,
Yeah.
because he's
Yep.
speaking about him but he also speaks about like him and then also what's going on. So
hmm
I mean, comedy was the style of comedy that they're doing. I feel like it's kind of just bred from like the Richard Pryor.
Yeah, he is the alpha and the omega with this shit, with this comedy shit, with
I'm,
black
I'm
comedy.
yeah, I'm not saying like I don't really, in my personal opinion, I don't think he's the funniest man at all. Like Richard
He
Pryor.
funny though. He funny, but he isn't.
Well,
I,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just the times and stuff. Like he was okay. I just didn't really care all that much for it. But I do see like I respect him as like a leader in comedy and kind of who was one of the godfathers and kind of
for
pioneer
sure.
how it is. So
Yeah.
I give him respect for that.
I think it just don't connect with our time period because we so young, and his shit came out like 70s, 80s. Actually, I was going through my dad's record collection, and he has Richard Pryor records, so I'm definitely excited to spin that because I never heard no
Mm.
comedy record before. I know Bill Cosby used to do those back in the day.
They still do it
So,
today. Comedy albums.
well, yeah, it's an album, but
It's
it ain't
just
no
stand
record.
up. Like on
Yeah,
the
no, they do still do it for sure. But I'm excited to listen to it. I haven't heard Richard Pryor's stand up in a minute. So, but
that's
shout out to
dope.
Richard Pryor. Shout out to Chappelle too. Like, just stop getting your feelings and reacting to shit. Like,
No, I like that idea of like talk about what you feel, what's going on in your head, your mind. But it when you're creating a special, I feel like it didn't. I know he has a lot of jokes. Like I know he
for
has
real.
he spent like hours of material, and for you to like shape your show and so much is going at this community,
hmm
he didn't have to do that.
Yeah, he
Like I
didn't.
know that he didn't. Like he chose to do it.
What I say before, I compared it to what Monique did. I don't know if you heard about that. Like when she went in on DL Hughley on stage when
DL
she
Hughley
was
ain't
there.
funny.
He not. I don't think
Monique's
DL
right.
Hughley is funny. But I'm saying in the aspect of she focused her set on
Like he said, king
shitting
of
on him.
comedy. Like he opened up for the king of comedy.
He did, but she shit on him when she could have been doing jokes. Of course, Monique got jokes. Why she ain't do no jokes?
Was this her special?
No, they was on the show together. Like that him
So she wasn't
or
supposed to do jokes then. She just talking.
no, they was on. It was a comedy show.
Oh, it was a comedy show that they
Yeah, it was
both
a
was
comedy
on
show. Yeah, so she went on before him, and she took that time to shit on him.
while he was there in the building.
Yeah, instead of telling jokes.
That's funny. I can At least she had what she felt. She was like, she probably had a conversation with that nigga before and was like, you know what? I'm about to get on this stage and just flam your ass up, boy. Like
Well,
that's hilarious.
you haven't been hearing about the whole situation.
I guess that's something I just choose not to really focus on.
I feel that.
I feel like that's
Yeah,
just all black people. Like they be like, stay out of business. All right,
low key.
like,
Right, right.
like I'm gonna stay out of that.
But yeah, man, I'm glad that these conversations are happening. Though. Like comedy is one of my favorite things, so I'm glad that people is being critical of shit just so we can get a better product at the end of the day. Like bottom line, that's it. So I guess go ahead and intro that next topic.
For sure. So this next topic was about ASAP Rocky claims. Rap hasn't been as mature since Soulja Boy. So what do you think about that one when you first hear it?
Man, I think that I feel like I agree with him in ways, but I would need for him to expand a little bit for me to like really understand. Like I tried to when we talked about it, before.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
he said the exact quote:
mhm,
"Rap is in its adolescence. It's been stuck here since Soldier Boy." That's a
mhm.
shot. Pow, pow, pow.
Is it a
Before
shot?
everybody looked 35 and up, when Lil Wayne and Jay-Z and T.I. and Jeezy and Rick Ross, first off, Lil Wayne was a child when he first got on the scene. Like, he was like 10 years old. T.I. was young. Jeezy was pretty young as well. Like, he said,
But he
like,
said they look old though.
in today's standard, but that was the style, nigga. Like, what do you mean they looked old?
Is he
Everybody
talking
wore
about they
white
face?
tees and like he literally named off all Southern hip hop artists and said they look old. Like you, like that's what should have kind of got to me. I was like, why are you name niggas in New York? Like where you
he t-
from? You
is
literally named off all the Southern niggas. It was like, bro, like
he
y'all
said Jay
dress
Z.
old. I
He
mean,
said Jay Z.
he said Jay-Z, but
Yeah.
I mean
Is he talking about
Jay-Z.
old in the face or he talking about old dressing? I,
I
I
don't
don't know
know
what he's
what
trying
he's
to
talking about. Like what you said, he need more context because
say.
I don't even know why you brought up Lil Wayne. Like Lil Wayne was not like that wasn't a good person to bring up.
Like around that time when T.I. and Jeezy was first coming out, like '05, Wayne was probably like 22, 23, maybe. Like so he was still pretty young, and they were probably around that age. Let me go into like some more of the quote. He said, "That all changed with the internet and self-releasing. Now rap is stuck in its braggadocious adolescent space. Is not as mature." So that provides a little bit more context. I think I don't know if you're trying to say that now that people can just upload shit on SoundCloud that rap is not mature. I don't. I guess that's what he's trying to say, but I don't understand why Soldier Boy had to. I get what he's trying to say, but I don't understand why Soldier Boy is the one to catch the stray. That's my thing.
Yeah, I don't really understand the question or the response. Um, yeah, in a way, it's just why? What was your point of saying that? Like I understand
Man,
if if he was a very lyrical, miracle type rapper,
yeah,
but he's not. Like it's always about drugs, sex, money, fashion. Like it's not about mature topics. So for
right.
you to be the person, like you're kind of along that lineage, like came after the Soldier Boys of artists who rap like this.
I mean, but okay, let me ask you this then. So like, his ASAP Rocky's music is not mature either. You just said that, but does that mean that he can't be critical of the rap game not being mature?
If you're gonna send out shots like that, Soldier, Big Draco, you gotta
Yeah.
be clear.
So that mean that he has to
Talk
make
about
mature music.
himself. Like why he gotta like
Yeah.
if
That's a
because
good
you
point.
don't make that kind of music. It's like why not
Yeah.
talk about like yourself? Like, are you gonna come out with a more mature music? Is that the reason why? Are you gonna start getting into your relationships and your life and your music and being more introspective? Or like
Nope.
what exactly? Or is it just always gonna be about fashion, not giving a fuck about the um black people issues and not believing it's really black and white? Like I don't know what you're saying. And like when people go on and they interview him, they never tell this nigga what do you mean? Like tell me more. Like what are you talking about? Like
hmm
give us some more context to what you're saying. I don't know what the nigga's talking about. Like don't just
Yeah.
start naming off the top niggas in hip hop that you're not even a part of. Like you just naming niggas off. Like for what? Like
Talking about they look old. Okay.
yeah, it's just like what they make mature music. It's like have you listened to Lil Wayne? The Pussy Monster?
Right.
Like what do you I don't know what he's talking about.
But that's what I'm saying. I think he was. I don't know, bro, because first he talking about they look old, and then he talking about the music is not mature. So it's like, what is it? Is it the look? Is it the music? Like some I feel like he just wasn't clear, like you said. Like they didn't ask him
He's
to.
never clear, and that's the problem. He just began interviewed and talked to
Hmm.
for what? The nigga can't speak. Like he don't have no real good opinions about anything. Like only time he has good opinions is when you talk to this nigga about fashion or what somebody else is wearing or doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I'm not asking. Don't ask him that nigga about anything else. Like I don't like why do niggas be asking like deep questions? He don't know the answer.
It seemed like it. It seemed like it. You know, but what was the one thing that make this shit to take this shit to the next level is there's this tweet from 2019 that says ASAP Rocky says if it wasn't for Soldier Boy, he wouldn't be around. So it was like, what?
Exactly
Like,
what I was saying. Like you're along the same line of the Soldier Boys.
right. That's why I feel like it's not no shot. I feel like it's not a shot for real. It could be taken as a shot, but I don't think it is for real. Because if you directly influenced by this guy, then
Y'all
I'm
Soldier
assuming that
Boy
you're not shouldn't.
kids.
For sure, a lot of niggas is. Pretty much all these everybody that came out after '07.
Gucci, the same thing.
Hell no, Gucci came out in like '05. But
When Big
I
Draco come
mean,
out?
I want to say '06, '07.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was like one of the first niggas on YouTube like doing the music shit, like in '06, I believe, or '07. But yeah, like Rod already
Already then.
said, like Rod said, man, Rocky and everybody else that's talking, like, be more clear. Like, I think sometimes people just have a problem articulating shit, and he just didn't articulate what he was trying to say.
Because they ain't trying to
As
articulate shit. They just
you
got
think
the
so?
opinion and they just move on like Twitter,
Yeah,
social media.
it's a tweet.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want people to be like, why? Like, nigga, this is my opinion. Like, shut up.
Right.
Like, nobody
Don't
want
say
to
nothing else.
expound.
Yeah. But we had this podcast where we can expound on shit like this. So definitely appreciate you guys for listening. Tap in with us on Instagram. We're everywhere. You can even listen to podcasts for sure. So I guess let's get into our next segment.
Right. This is some of the discussion. A little bit deeper. Look
Mm-hmm.
into recognition at award shows. And should we
Mm.
create our own award shows? Because when I think of some of the award shows that our community have, it's the BET, it's the Soul Train Awards,
Mm-hmm.
and then the list kind of stops from there.
I mean, the Source Awards is not around anymore.
I mean, yeah, that used to be around, but it ended.
Yeah, I feel like BET has a couple different award shows.
Yeah, they have like the hip hop awards, and then they have
Yeah,
like the BET Music Awards.
I feel like they got something for like a black woman something, like Black Girls Rock or something. Is that a award show? I don't know,
Maybe that's a
but
part of that segment.
yeah, it might be. But yeah, so like recognition, right?
Yeah, and then the idea, like just going a little bit deeper into that, I don't think it's much respect given to the black award shows for recognition. When it comes to viewership and people watching and tuning in, even the artists, I feel like they don't even everyone always be like growing up be like, I want a Grammy.
Yeah,
Why shouldn't you want a BET award more than a Grammy?
I mean,
If you're a part of our community, shouldn't that be more important to you?
in theory, but the Grammys has been around what, like 100 years. BET Awards has been around since what, like 90 something.
I mean, we weren't even a part of the Grammys, like when
That,
it
facts.
began. So
It's facts.
it wasn't for us to begin with.
Yeah.
And they all constantly have these like every year. I remember that one year they was talking about a blackout of the Grammys, like everybody just don't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
because like it just wasn't many of us that was even nominated or anything like that. Um, some of the best hip hop albums that just get overlooked, like the when there was a Nas album, like his first one,
Mm-hmm.
and he ended up losing
I
to
will never
like album
forget.
of the year, like even
Yeah,
rap
yeah,
album of the
yeah.
year, like it just, or even the Kendrick Lamar,
Yep, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Good Kid, Mad City, that album,
Over Macklemore, no, Macklemore over Good Kid, Mad City.
because he was sitting there, Macklemore was sitting there talking about dressing in old trendy clothes out the store. That be Good Kid, Mad City. Like I'm really just so confused. Like
I mean, look where they at now. Just that's all. That's all you need to know. Just look where they at.
the thing is,
Look.
like that wasn't even much of a. That was a pop kind of hip hop song, but it's just like, you serious? Like I just
They
don't like.
violated.
That's just the disrespect. It's like, and this is who our people and our culture hold up to this standard.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you dumb?
So,
Are you stupid?
so,
Like which one is it?
so it's like, okay. So then what? So we already have existing award shows, but like you said, they're not really respected as a Grammy, as an Emmy, as Oscar, or that might be the same thing. But so then what? So then what now? Then if we already have them, like what's adding another one gonna do?
I feel like it's not more. It's not as just having it. That's not the what I'm believe is the issue here. It's just our community treating it as the Grammys and going above and beyond, like having all the best musicians. And I feel like we could turn the award show. We don't have to even do like the same format. Like we can change it. We can shift it. We can give more people recognition. Why does it only have
Hmm.
to be one winner? There could be
Hmm.
multiple great albums. They could be that people want to recognize. Like so more people feel included. Like I know,
BT,
like
if you're listening, hire us.
I know some people be like, "Oh, there can only be one winner," but I don't think that's the case when it becomes to music because, like, when you think about it, there's so much music that's really, really good right now, and there's so much music
Hmm.
being put out, so many albums. There's no way you're listening to all this music and you're ranking it.
No way.
Like, there's no way you listen to all this music. There's an album that come out every week. How are you listening to all this and like really truthfully giving your opinion? Like you got to be able to digest the music and everything like that. So and also I have an issue with the categories when it comes to the Grammys. I'm tired of like this urban award and like also like these artists that you just put in at these award shows. They just be putting these rap hip hop artists or they just be throwing them in so many different categories. It's just starting to get weird. Like, all right, Kanye got like all the gospel awards for Donda.
That was not a gospel album.
Yeah, it's really weird. Or like Doja Cat, like she going to R&B soul and just
Ain't no
racking up
soul in
all the
that.
awards and going to the pop shows and racking up all the awards. It's like, what is the album? Like, is it pop? Is it R&B? Like,
It's R and
do
B
we
because
need
she's
we need
black.
more categories or something? It's like they only give us a couple categories for the Grammys,
Hmm.
but music has evolved. Like we're bending these genres so much.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So where
No,
do
we
you
are.
where do you put those artists?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean,
Just
that's up
keep
to
it
the
urban.
Grammys board.
Just keep it urban contemporary.
Hell no.
Like that's the thing. It's just like there's no respect or even thought like when it comes to like our music. So I feel like maybe that's what we should create with BET
I
or
don't know
general,
why
like make it bigger.
urban contemporary sound like a slur to me. Like if I feel like it's a slur. Like it just don't seem it don't seem like they should be saying that.
Yeah, it just seemed like, I don't know. When you look at the urban albums that be getting nominated, I don't really see no white people get be in the urban category. Like
I mean,
it be seeming
but
real dark skin like in that urban category. Like,
but I mean, white
but I
people
heard it's a
don't.
style of music though. Like, it's just like
They
which one is it? Is
typically
this a genre of
they don't
music
be in
or is it
there.
my skin color?
Right. What is it though, for real? I mean, I guess white people live in urban areas, right?
They definitely do. But them categories be looking
So,
real black or
you know what I'm
dark,
saying?
like real dark skin.
So what is it? Yeah, like I said, it's all up to the people at which I don't know if we know who the Grammy board is. I don't know if that's public information, but it's all up to them to how they decide the shit. And if we gonna keep holding this shit as up to
Yeah.
some sort of standard, then we gonna have to just stop paying attention to this shit because they're not gonna get it right ever. We've ever since that Kendrick Lamar Macklemore shit happened, it's never gonna be right. It will never be
Ever
right.
since Nas with Illmatic.
But was people
Uh,
fucking with Illmatic back then when it first came out though? For real, let's be
Man,
honest.
uh, obviously
I don't
not.
know. I wasn't alive. Well, I
Obviously,
was alive, but I was like 2 years old.
yeah. I don't know. I couldn't exactly say how people were feeling at the time, but when I listen to it even now and like years later, it's just like how
Great
didn't this
album,
do it? But
classic.
I'm not trying to cut the companies and stuff some slack because when these businesses and everything like that, when they're in those boardrooms and they're discussing viewership and what's bringing money and who's watching, they're not like, we're the least of their worries.
Hmm.
And that's just seem what always seems like whenever people speak about boardrooms, it's always we're trying to enter the room. We always have like a seat at the table.
Right.
But fuck that table. Make your own table.
We have our own table though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We have it, but niggas don't give a fuck about it.
Yeah, so
I feel
I
you
mean
though.
that's it. That's what it is then. Like, we gotta start caring about our own table then.
That's it. Cause we got it. We got the infrastructure for it. We got a whole BET channel that where is black shit on every day, all day. People just don't give a fuck about it, and that is what it is. I guess we just want to be included with everybody else, but it's just like when that happens, it's not. We feel like we're not respected when we included with everybody else. So it's like, oh, let's go over to BET. But we don't really fuck with the BET awards. So let's go back over to the Grammys. Oh, they snubbing us. All right, well now what? So it's like at this point, like fuck awards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
R- like recognition is cool though. I do think that that's important to recognize the greats and the talented and all those people. But it's
Yeah, and then
like
I'm looking this up actually right now. My fault. I'm
okay,
cutting in. But
no, you good.
I was looking up the CEOs of these companies. So
Oh man,
BET is Deborah Lee. She's a black woman.
yeah,
And then, but there's an owner of BET.
it is.
And the CEO of, and that's Viacom. Just keep it
Yeah,
clear.
that we
And
know who own that,
yeah, it's Robert Backish.
right?
So,
So
do we own the table or we don't own the table here?
we don't.
I feel like it's more or less the CEO has to answer to somebody, and when it comes to viewership and everything like that,
Hmm.
at BT to a white male.
I'm glad you
So
brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because that's a great point. Because like even think about with the NBA with what's bro that was saying the N word,
oh
uh
yeah, for the
the
Clippers,
owner, yeah, from the Clippers,
that
like
guy he
he's
got
the
fired.
owner.
That was
He did.
Sterling.
Donald Sterling. Yep. But then that speaks to the fact that okay, that you have a head coach, you got all these people that's like that you think is the highest person, but the owner, the person that really has say so. So that's a great point that you brought up. So I guess maybe we don't have no goddamn table. So shit, Diddy. Well, shit, I don't know what is Revolt might be on Viacom too, low key. But
I think he got his own thing going there, but I don't know. I mean, it's good to have partners,
it is
but
for sure. He
partner.
got so much.
That partner
He got
means something, not just working for.
yeah,
You're
for sure.
you're both at the same table. You're partners with somebody, not somebody
Yeah.
you're answering to, like BET is.
Yeah, so I think you made a good point though. So yeah, because I cut you off and I was like, nah, we got a table, but I don't think we have a table. So Diddy, if you're listening, get on that shit. BT, if you're listening, hire us so we can get you situated with this new format, award show, all that shit.
Yes, sir.
Because people need recognition and we gotta do it the right way, for sure.
And that's what a lot of artists are mad about, anyways. Like, I'm not even mentioned. I do all this work, and they be so upset. But even BET don't want to acknowledge me.
Yeah,
Recently,
Lil Nas X.
yeah, Lil Nas X, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
He had a
we just
song
talked
with
about that.
NBA YoungBoy, and pretty much like on the song, he just repeatedly saying "fuck BET, fuck BET, fuck BET." And at first, I was like, what?
Yeah.
But like, I dig just a little bit deeper than just the headline. I mean, his song was "Industry Baby," which was one of the biggest songs, and you gave Jack Harlow nomination for. It's off the success of that song, to be honest. Like that was the biggest record, like one of the biggest records. So it does look a little weird that Lil Nas X didn't get nominated in any category.
Like Jack Harlow would not be where he's at this very. He would still be, you know what I'm saying, visible and popping, but he would not be as popping without Industry Baby tearing up the charts last year.
It seems like there's
no
always
question.
There always got to be at least one white rapper.
They do.
Like they always have like at least one. You got your Eminem, your Machine Gun Kelly. You got Logic. Then you got Jack Harlow.
He's black.
You got your Jack Harlow.
No, he's mixed.
Then you got your Macklemore. There's always at least one, like at a time, like that's just running it, just doing everything that everybody else can't do, just taking advantage of that privilege.
Out of nowhere, like this nigga got a movie and everything, bro.
Yeah, it just the black community always got to hold on and like love at least one.
Yeah. That's how we do.
Yeah.
Inviting motherfuckers to the cookout.
Yeah, and for viewership and audience, to try to get other people to tune in. Like I get why they're doing it, but still,
I really don't have a problem with white rappers, for real. I don't.
You definitely spoke up about how you don't, though. You've been a little contradictory.
I was trying to cap. Oh,
Mac Miller.
So let me say this is my problem. Like I said, the nigga Jack Harlow got a movie. He got a sequel to like a huge movie, White Man Can't Jump. Like he popping. He got popping off a single from a black artist. Like got popping off of that.
I don't even know if he's a good actor though.
We gonna find out.
On White Man Can't Jump too.
Yeah, man, but this can't even shoot though. Shit, he better be practicing.
That's another thing. It's like, man, they really about to make the movie with someone who can't even play like that.
How you know?
There was like a little video of him shooting, and that shit was nasty.
Damn. No, but
and that thing wasn't even rappers on White Man Can Jump 1.
Yeah, who was it was Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes.
Exactly. I'm like, why did Jack Harlow got to be a part of this? Like, what? Like, I'm kind of confused on that. Like, that pick. It's like they could have got a lot better actor.
Yeah.
Than
somebody that, and this is what I'm
more
saying.
Experience. The pit, like, the damper what the legacy of that movie was.
Right.
I mean, unless he's good. Like, I'm probably going to tune in. I'm going to watch it and check it out. But It was kind of like the same idea with that Lil Yachty and
DC Young Fly.
DC Young Fly. That
Yeah,
How
High
High,
too.
when they came back with that
It's not
shit.
the same thing.
That movie was so garbage.
It was, but it's not the same thing. Lil Yachty that
No,
wasn't
I'm
Lil
just
Yachty
saying.
first year being popping though.
I'm just saying the idea of like ruining the legacy of
Oh yeah.
a movie like that.
Yeah, the first one was hilarious.
I don't even get why they put them two in the room. Like, just because like it's the sort of popping artist at the time, like, and just throwing them in like these movies. It's like, why not get some better actors who can really do the role and everything some justice? Give somebody else some shine
I
instead
ain't
of
gonna
like
lie.
somebody who ain't really
Yeah,
that. He ain't him in that category.
right. I ain't gonna lie. I actually did like that movie. Now that I think about it, I would definitely watch it again. I thought it was corny in some parts, but the story was kind of funny, like how they was working at the fast food spot. But no, this is my main point.
Can't
The
wait for that
only
new house
problem,
party.
the biggest problem I have with white rappers is when they afford the opportunities that black artists that's been here, like they come into hip hop and they get these opportunities that black artists that's been here do not get. Like, who ain't never been in the movie? There's so many rappers that ain't never been in the movie, never even, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe his team just real good like that, where they just got him in that shit, but it just don't make no sense. Like,
Oh, we
Lil
know
Nas
his
X
team is
had the
good.
biggest, gotta be. Lil Nas X had the biggest song of all time, and he ain't got no movie.
I don't want to see him in the movie. We're gonna be
But I'm just
twerking.
saying, I'm just saying though. I'm saying, like, what's the opportunities afforded to person A and person B? White person and black person, white rapper, black rapper. Like, what that's my whole thing. Like, don't come here and take up space and then
You heard that from
see
Matt.
if
Don't take up
you know what's
space.
what's gonna be what's gonna piss me off when this nigga Jack Harlow go country. Oh my god,
Or when he go
that's gonna
rock.
make me go crazy. Yeah, when he go rock a country, I'm about to go crazy.
Oh, you know it's gonna come. He gonna come with the rock vibes.
It's
Like
on
that's the
the
same thing with
way.
Machine Gun Kelly. He started off in our
Yeah.
community. They got him hot and popping. And then as
And he was
soon
like,
as he
I'm
was
out.
like, he wasn't getting all the same love. They picked another white rapper. He was
Hmm.
like, I'm going rock.
The only ones that didn't transcend shit was Eminem and Mac Miller. That's the only two that just kept it, that stayed down.
Like, man, those the ones too. Like, when you talk about some of the best people who really care about the music. I mean, that you already knew a Post Malone when he said like, I ain't no rapper like
Man.
that. When he said that, you already knew. Like, you know
So I don't fuck
what he
with him.
was on. But
Mhm.
I'm glad he actually said where he stood and early on. He was like, nah, that
Yeah,
ain't me.
yeah.
Like,
Shit,
I'm
I
gonna
feel
let
like
you
he
know.
only got bigger since then though.
Yeah, I
He let
mean,
them
he
folks
definitely
know.
got bigger.
He was like, all right, well, I'm not fucking with this monkey music. So let me go over here and do this do this rock shit.
Yeah, that
So
definitely when he said monkey, or did he say monkey in particular?
no, I ain't
Oh,
say that. He ain't say
that shit sound like when Freezer said
that. Right. He like monkey.
it.
No, if he would have said that shit, nah, he definitely would have been quote unquote canceled. But
Yeah, like
all
Justin
right,
Bieber was cool though.
man, you see, he got that disease now.
Yeah, his eye don't open right. You'll be
I
alright.
gotta cut that. I gotta cut that part. I should have laughed at that. All right, all right. Let's move on to the next shit. So I guess should we do this next discussion question, or you feel like we've been on here long enough?
I think we're good enough. Might as well
Yeah.
highlight.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. So yeah, I guess go ahead with your highlight this week.
So I found this new show on Apple TV Plus. It's called Swagger. Um, one of the producers was Kevin Durant. Created by Reggie Rock and By the Wood. It also has O'Shea Jackson, which is Ice Cube's son, in
Mm-hmm.
it. Like it's one of the he's the coach in there, and they say it's loosely based on experiences from Kevin Durant. But some of the topics they talk about is Trayvon Martin and some of the black issues and things that went on at that time. I Can't Breathe. They kind of go on that topic. They also talk about young girls experiencing being touched on or felt um,
Mm.
by coaches and things of that nature.
It's an epidemic.
Also, when you're young and your father like left the home, so you're in a one parent household. So it goes into a bunch of different topics, and it's a good show. I'm liking it so far.
Okay.
I'm hoping for another season. But shout out to Swagger, and check that out on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely check that joint out. Let me go ahead and take it back to the '90s, some '90s R&B shit. So I want to highlight Kut Klose, who is I think they was under Keith Sweat, like back in the '90s and shit like that. So it's a specific song that I really fuck with that I always just be listening to randomly called "Surrender" by Kut Klose, and for some reason they put K's for the C's, so it's KUTKLOSE, and that's "Surrender." So go check that out if y'all fucking with that '90s R&B. You know what I'm saying? Baby making music type shit.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so yeah. With that being said, man, this has been the Friends Podcast, man. Tell them where we at.
We're everywhere. So that means Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube. So check us out everywhere. That podcasts are Google Podcasts. Um, your mama's favorite podcast app. Like we gonna be there.
We on that motherfucker. So with that being said, we out.
Peace.